stuck between a rock and a hard place. Between a rock and a hard place.
In cities across Canada, we're getting on the green bandwagon by circulating blue boxes, setting up recycling depots, and encouraging composting. For instance, in Toronto, they were swamped with response when they offered up composting bins at a startup discount. But here on the West Coast, hey, we're into designer composting. Here's Sally Halliday.
So you want to buy your wife a composter because it's all the green rage. But who you gonna call?
Yeah, hello. Do you want to give me the city compost hotline? Yeah.
You see, composting has become trendy. It's the latest in recycling.
Good morning, Compost Hotline.
So the city fathers in Vancouver came up with a new age compost garden to show us neophytes how to compost.
Yes.
City farmer Michael Levenston says he and his crew get a lot of, shall we say, unexpected questions.
We had a call last week about old 78 LPs. They wanted to know if they could put them in, thinking it's black, it's like plastic, it might break down.
Seriously?
So, very seriously. And then after that, he asked about an old toaster. So some people really aren't aware of composting. Most people are, and they ask much finer points.
And the city is happy to answer any of those questions. After all, they want us to cut down on the waste from our kitchens and backyards that make up 1/3 of what goes into our landfills.
It's very simple, or so it seems, but once you get in an urban area, there's different problems. Smaller lots, neighbors' complaints, a public that may not garden, though they want to recycle, and they're told to recycle.
And so now that it's fashionable to bury your scraps rather than chuck them out, the manufacturers are falling over themselves to produce the designer of compost bins.
So everybody's jumping on the composting bandwagon.
100%. A boss will have a secretary call me at the office and say, it's my wife's birthday tomorrow. I want to buy her. He wants to buy a composter for her. Where can I get one? Never happened before.
Would you buy your wife a composter as a gift?
Why, of course. I mean, she likes for me to work in the garden.
So you would
Obviously, if she likes me to work in the garden, she should have a composter.
What about you? Would you buy your husband a composter as a gift?
I think so, if he wanted it.
You think he would want one?
Yeah, I think he would.
A composter?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. Why not?
What's the romance in a composter?
Would you buy your girlfriend or wife a composter as a gift?
It's not particularly romantic. Now, I guess in some cases it might be appropriate, but generally, no.
What about you?
No. Yes.
You would?
Yeah.
Why?
My girlfriend just did, actually, and so she just showed me her place over in Caulfield, and I said, what's this terrible black box? And she's my husband's composter, and he loves it.
Would you buy your husband or boyfriend a composter as a gift?
What's that?
Well, I guess the compost craze hasn't quite hit everyone. Still, there's barely room at the city's demonstration garden for all the new models. Whether you tumble or toss it, mix it up in wood, metal, or plastic, it has to be rodent-proof. Rats are city dwellers, too. One of the downsides of composting in a city.
Mike, this looks more like a Ferris wheel than a composter.
They do look like lottery bins. They're turning units that stop you from having to get in with a pitchfork and hurting your back. And the material inside tumbles. Just one turn is enough. Tumbled every couple of days. It breaks the material up, allows oxygen in, air in, and that's what the microorganisms need to breathe.
Which brings us to a very basic question. Just exactly what is composting?
It's basically broken down organic matter. It's very much like soil, but it's in the process of breaking down still further. Anything that's once lived can be composted. This one we had flown in from Germany. There are very few of them in Canada. There might only be 10. And we call it the graft. Essentially 3 pieces. It's maybe a little high, but
nice smell.
Plastic, totally contained, In the base is raised up and there's holes in the base so the air can come up underneath.
And Mike says look for how easy it is to get your scraps in and out of the bin. Prices range anywhere from $50 to $150.
Now this is quite a wonderful mess they're making here. What's the trick to composting?
The trick is to add nitrogen-rich material and carbon-rich material, green material and brown material. They want to mix different materials together, not put all of one thing in. Don't just stack all your kitchen scraps in. Don't just stack all your grass clippings in. Mix different materials.
It's like making pancakes, says Mike. The first time might not be perfect, but once you get the recipe down, well, it's just a heap of fun.
Sally, I know if my gourmet pancake recipe isn't working because I can smell the batter burning. Now, can smell be a warning when you're composting?
Yeah, smell is the key word. I mean, most of us think that composting is supposed to smell, but Mike says no, there's something wrong if it smells. So it just means the recipe is a little off. Maybe you should turn it a bit more. The other thing about smell is, I mean, he's saying you can compost anything that lives, but if you put meat or fish in your composter, it's going to smell.
So if I do everything right, what do I do with it?
Well, it's like a fertilizer, a natural fertilizer. At any time of the year, it could be at the beginning in the spring, you know, you take out in the wheelbarrow and just sort of dig it up into the earth, or put it on the raspberries later in the year. It's good fertilizer.
Now, if I don't have a garden, can I just put it on my lawn?
Yeah, you can put it on the lawn, but you might have to watch your step. It's a little lumpy, you know.
Have a big dinner, have a light snack. If you don't like it, you can't.